Hello everyone, this is OldGamer. Today we're going to be continuing on how to install new emulators for the Attract mode with the Arcade Flow theme. Now in my previous video I went ahead and showed you guys how to install Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, and the arcade machine. Now we're going to be focusing on more on arcade machines with emulators and ROMs. But we're going to be focusing on only on one particular uh, emulator. It's called Flycast that is a core for the RetroArch. Flycast also is compatible with Fightcade and also it has its own standalone emulator. But also it supports RetroArch. So today we're going to go ahead and teach you guys how to get the Sega Dreamcast emulator running. Not only that, we will be able to teach you how to get the Sega Naomi running and also the Sammy um, Atomiswave. So let's get started. Okay? Now, just a reminder, just to be sure that in my video description you'll be able to get everything that you need for this exercise. Okay? And make sure that if you haven't done it already or you forgot to, be sure to come to this website. It's called Screen Scrapers, and scroll down but first click right here where it says register. Let the page load up. Scroll down, create your own username, password, confirm your password and your email. You don't need to go to your email just to verify with them. All you have to do is create the account and you're good to go. Once you do that, take the time and download Scraper UI. This supports Windows, Linux, and Mac. Okay? Just a little reminders just to make sure that you guys are following my footsteps to the letter. Alright, so once again, we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? The first thing we want to do is we want to come here. This is where they have a long list of Sega Dreamcast emulators as CHD. I prefer running the um, the Dreamcast emulator with CHD format than over the CDI or GDI. But it's up to you what kind of reference you want to go with. I always prefer using CHD because it's smaller and it's compatible. It's really compact. So it's up to you what kind of choices you have. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and download a couple games here just to show you. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and download one of my favorite games on NFL Blitz 2000. That's also a fun game to play by Midway. Let's see. NBA Hang Time, Showtime, NBA on NBA. That's also a Midway game. It's a 3D version of NBA Jams and Hang Time in 3D format. Okay. Also, we're going to go ahead and grab Mortal Kombat Gold by Midway. And of course, you can't go wrong with a little bit of Namcom games. Let's go ahead and get Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur, Soul Calibur. We have a long list of games here. You guys will find this in my video description, okay? Alright, Soul Calibur. Well, they also got Street Fighter, but we already got that covered with the arcade that I went ahead and provide for you guys, okay? I can't find Soul Calibur. Soul. Oh, there it is. Soul Calibur. There it is, USA. Okay, one more game. I think the most popular game we used to. I mean, Sega games have some really popular games, but I'm gonna go with another one. I think Project Justice Rival School 2 is also fun, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab that one as well. Alright, just to get out of the way. Okay, so now that we got that downloading, okay, now let's go ahead and move on to the next step. The first thing you want to do is you want to come here. The downside about this pack is you get every Naomi ROMs for it. The downside is you won't be able to get some of the games running because it requires CHD. The person who went ahead and uploaded this, uh, his name is Oro Boroso. I don't know what that means in English, but uh, he's the one who went ahead and took the time and uploaded over 127 Naomi ROMs. So to download it, all you got to do is just click right here. And once again, guys, please make sure you have at least 2 to 4 terabyte when doing this, because when you want to make your emulators look nice and you really don't want to take the time to pay for big box and you can't afford it and you want to go something cheap and easy and fun to have, this is the way to do it. It's free, it don't cost nothing, and you can make your own front end by using RetroArch with the cool front end called Arcade Flow. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and click on here and you're going to start downloading the file. Okay? It is 6.9 gigabytes. Okay? That's a lot. That's a big file. Okay? Alright, the last thing we need to head out to, okay, is right here. Okay? This is by Baravet Dark, who went ahead and upload the working ROMs that actually will work for the Flycast core for the RetroArch. Um, Even though it's very minimum of how many games it has here, but I guarantee that only only like 2 games. Well, one they're working, but the only a few games had some hiccups. You'll see what I'm talking about when we demonstrate this. But go ahead and download that. And this one is actually 1.9 gigabytes for being having 16 games. Okay. All right. So go ahead and click on that and download it. Just right here. Okay. All right. One last thing. I best recommend you come to this website called RetroRoms. These guys are great when it comes to MAME. These guys are dedicated to help people who having troubles with their ROMs or they don't know how to get it working properly. They're always there for them, and they're very helpful, very friendly community. It's kind of sad that nobody knows about this place, but Retro ROMs is dedicated for only for MAME, but they also dedicated to support you with some great resources when it comes to ROMs. Okay? So before you can download the ROMs, you have to log in with them. You have to actually register with them to get the ROMs. You cannot just get them just by clicking on it and then start downloading. I think it's really cool because I prefer you guys registered with them, get into the community, and the great thing is they get they get their ROMs updated when anytime the MAME gets updated, they get updated. So right here on the forums, that you can see that they actually can keep up with the ROM. They also keep up with Final Burn Neo. They also keep up with the main latest MAME as well. Um, Basically, they really cover pretty much everything related with arcade and ROMs. Um, they're very useful. They let everybody know, hey, we went ahead and modify the ROMs, so you don't have to. I mean, there is way for you to dump your ROMs to update them, so you don't have to keep on searching for updated ROMs. But the point is, that's what they're here for. They share and help others when it comes to resources. So give it a try, check it out. You won't be disappointed. Anyways, we're gonna come back here later, but first we're going to go ahead and click on downloads. We're gonna go to their database here, and then we're gonna click on right here where it says MAME, and then we're gonna click on CHD. Okay, and this is where we're gonna be getting the CHD games for the um for the Naomi games. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. Oh, and by the way, just to let you guys know that Flycast also support Naomi 2 games as well. Now I do not know how far do they gotten with the program, but I assure you they do work. So this way you'll be able to play like, for example, like Virtual Tennis, um, Virtual Fighter 4, and Evolution. And that's the reason why we're here today. So let's go ahead and do that while we're still downloading those other ROMs. Let's go ahead and get let's get the CHD for in fact I want to get the CHD for Capcom versus SNK2. So, avoid these right here. Just click this right here. These are just information. Okay. So go ahead and click on that HCHD. And then we're going to click on that one as well. There we go. Alright, let's head back. Let's find Virtual Fighter 4 and Evolution. Okay. Let's scroll all the way down here. Okay. Just a little bit further down. Get to the Virtual Fighter 4. There it goes. Okay, it's supposed to be VF. There it is. Okay, here it goes. So we're going to click on this one. Actually, we don't need to have Virtual Fighter 4. We could just get Evolution. It's basically the same game except with extra characters. So we're going to go ahead and click on the CHD for this one. And this one. And this one. Okay. Alright, now that we got that downloaded. Alright. Now we need to do is we need to create a new folder. And this one will be for VCS2. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab the two ROMs from Capcom vs. SNK2. We're going to put it right in that folder right there. Okay. Alright. Next we're going to go ahead and create another folder. And then we're going to have to type in VF4 Evo. And this is where the BIOS will go right in here. We're still downloading the BIOS for. We got the A, we got the B, we just need the C. There it is. Okay, there's the C. I think I accidentally moved the A. Let me see. 24A. Okay, B. Removed. Okay. I don't know what happened to A, but it's supposed to be here. Okay, we got. Let me see. Let me take a look at the Evo here. There they are. They're all three there. Good. Okay. Now we got the CHDs for those games, but remember there are other games that are actually CHD. Like for example, like Guilty Gear. Some Guilty Gears are actually CHD, and some of them are not. Especially when you're dealing with uh, Atomiswave and also Naomi, Sega Naomi. Okay, so we went ahead and got our games so far. We got our games. We got our Mortal Kombat. We got our Showtime. We got our Blitz. We got our Soul Calibur. Didn't I downloaded another one? Let me see here. Let me take a look at my downloads real quick. Go ahead and clear this up. Oh yeah, Justice. Let me go ahead and cancel that because I already have the ROM, by the way. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it together. So what we want to do is we want to create 3 new folders, okay? One for Sega Dreamcast. There you go, Sega Dreamcast. And we're going to go inside the folder and we're going to create 3 new folders. One will be the ROMs. One will be the wheels. And the next one will be the snap. just like that. Okay. All I like to do is I like to make a duplicate, so this way I don't have to create another. Let's go ahead and paste. There we go. Wait, did it work? Let me do it again. I don't know what happened there, but paste. There it goes. Alright, and this will be Sega Naomi. We're going to remove this right. This. Naomi. Okay, now let's go ahead and paste another one. Okay, and this will be Sammy Atomiswave. Sammy Atomiswave. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and grab the Sega Dreamcast games here, and we're going to put them inside the ROMs folder, just like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and extract here the Atomiswave ROMs. While we're still waiting on that, we're going to go ahead and extract here the ROMs for Naomi. Oh, let me cancel that. I figure it's going to do that. Let me delete this. Let me do it again. Extract to. There we go. The guy forgot to put the these ROMs into his own folder. He just probably highlighted and extracted just like that. Okay. Oh, good. Project. The project just is already finished. Let's go ahead and go to the Sega Dreamcast and put that in here. There we go. All right. So that's taken care of. All right. So we got the yep, we got the ROMs for the Atomiswaves. We're right now extracting that right now. Okay, so while we're still waiting for that to extract, let's go ahead and put it together. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the folder for Virtua Fighter 4 and Capcom vs SNK 2. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that and go to the Naomi, then to the ROMs, and then we're gonna paste that in here, just like that. Okay, there we go. All right, in my video description, you will find a firmware that is required for you to play Sega Dreamcast by using Flycast Core Libero, because the core from RetroArch requires a firmware. So in my video description, at the beginning and outside of the video description, you will see the system, and you can download it through Google Drive, and you can actually get the source there. Okay. I don't know why this did not went to. Did I copy it by accidentally? No, I did. I did copy it. Okay. Yeah, I made a copy. Okay. I guess I can go ahead and get rid of these. Okay, let's go ahead and delete that. Alright, let's go ahead and grab the ROMs for the Atomiswaves. Let's go ahead and grab these right here. And let's go ahead and put it in here. Okay, there we go. Alright, now let's go ahead and grab the ROMs for Naomi Waves. This is like every one thing I noticed about him is that he did not follow through. He didn't add the um the, the BIOS for Naomi. So we're gonna be grabbing those next, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys how to get the BIOS, okay? So let's go ahead and go to Sega Naomi ROMs, and we're gonna paste it right in here. There you go. All right, now let's head back to the retro ROMs, okay? And let's head back for a little bit. Okay, so we have the ROMs for Virtual Fighter, and we have the ROMs for Capcom vs SNK. So let's go back a little bit. And then we're going to click right here where it says BIOS. We're going to click on that. And what we need to find is the Naomi. Oh, here's another too. If you want to play like House of the Dead 2, you have to get the BIOS for that. If you want to get the BIOS for playing the racing game, it's called Ferrari 355, the racing game, you got to get the BIOS for that. Okay? These are BIOS that is required for you to play these games or else it won't work. Okay? So for us, we need to get the Naomi 1, Naomi 2, and Naomi GD. These are actually BIOS that requires for you to play these games. Without these, you won't work. And this is a requirement. Okay? For the great thing about Flycast team, they actually the great thing of what I love about Flycast is that they support, believe it or not, Fightcade. They also support they have their own standalone as well. So you could actually can play these games on the fly through Fightcade, and they got a lot of YouTube videos about how you can actually can play Naomi games online with your friends with by using Flycast with Fightcade, and that's a great thing about that emulator. So this emulator can emulate three things. So it's pretty surprising. All right, so now that we're going ahead and got our BIOS, let's go ahead and make sure that we get everything in here, because I know there's some BIOS in here that does require. Like this one's called Airplane. I think this is a requirement, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. That is actually a BIOS for the airplane simulator, and then it's a requirement. So let's go ahead and grab those. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab these BIOS. Okay. Let's go inside the Sega Naomi ROMs and place it right in here. Here we go. Nice and neat. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab these Atomiswave, the Sega Dreamcast, and the Sega Naomi folders. We're going to cut it. And we're going to go inside the arcade flow. And then we're going to go to emulators. And we're going to paste it right in here. Just like that. Okay. Alright. So we're going to do a little bit of cheat sheet. It saves a lot of time, trust me. Instead of going directly to the track mode and do it manually, we can do it through here, okay? But before we can do anything, we need to go to RetroArch and we need to launch RetroArch completely. Like so. Alright, so now we need to do is we need to go to load core, download a core, and then we need to scroll down and we need to find Sega Dreamcast / Naomi. Here we go. Sega Dreamcast / let's go ahead and download that, and now we got the core. Okay, now we can go ahead and exit this out because we don't need to be here anymore. We just need to use RetroArch to get to the core. Okay, now we need to do is we need to copy one of these right here. Okay, one of the configs. We're going to copy that and we're going to paste it 3 times. Just like that. Okay, the first thing we're going to focus on the Sega Dreamcast. Copy the name. Move this over here so you can see the copies. Okay, here we go. We're going to rename this and we're going to paste it. Very simple stuff. As long as you know where your ROM's path is located, the only thing we're doing is we're just changing the names and we're changing the core. Okay, here we go. We're going to go ahead and change this right here. Boom. Just change it. There we go. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Now do the same thing for the ROMs. Paste that in there. Also, we need to change this right here. Paste that in there. Boom. Because we're dealing with Sega Dreamcast, we have to change the ROM extension right here. So let's go ahead and change that. Okay, and I prefer adding all the ROM extension off the fly. So we're going to type in CHD, and then we're going to put a semicolon like this, and then a dot, and we're going to put down CDI, semicolon and dot, and then GDI. Okay, that's for the Sega Dreamcast. We are all right. So now we're going to go ahead and grab this right here. Okay, and we're going to go back to the arcade flow. We're going to go back to emulators, and then RetroArch, and then cores. And there's the libro right there, flycast underscore libro.dll. We're going to go ahead and rename this. Grab this and copy the name. All this right here. Boom. Copy that. And then we're going to go ahead and rename this right here because right now it's on Super Nintendo, but we need to change it to the Sega Dreamcast. Just like that. Very simple stuff. Now we got Sega Dreamcast done. We're going to go ahead and save this. Alright. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and grab the Sega Naomi. Let's go ahead and copy that. Alright. Rename this. Paste that in there. Okay. Alright, we're going to grab Sammy Atomiswave. We're going to copy the name and replace it with this one. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of cheat sheet. I always love doing that, saying that. So we're going to grab this whole entire thing like this. And we're going to copy it, close it, open this one. It saves a lot of time, trust me. Okay, and we're going to paste it. Just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and save it. Then we're going to go ahead and go right here, copy the name. And then do the same thing we did for Sega Dreamcast. Very simple, very easy. Don't have to like do it directly to the attract mode. Okay. All right. Okay, this is Atomiswave. So this time we're going to change the extension to just .zip. It saves a lot of time. Okay, we're going to go ahead and save it. Okay, we already got that taken care of. Let's go ahead and highlight the whole thing again. Copy that. Okay, now we're going to go with Sega Naomi. We're going to remove all this and replace it by pasting it just like that. Okay, let's go ahead and grab the name of Sega Naomi. Alright. You see, very easy stuff. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and paste that in here. Just like that. Same thing with this one. Okay. Same thing for here, right here. And right here. Okay. Go ahead and paste that in there. Okay, now we need to create another extension. Okay, because we're dealing with CHDs, so we need to type in .chd. So remember, put a semicolon. Just then type in .chd. There we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and save this for Sega Naomi. Okay, now that's taken care of. Now we need to do is we need to go ahead and we need to scrape the images and the medias for them, and I'm going to show you how it's done because it's kind of like a trick. It's kind of like a trickery. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do it. So let's go ahead and go inside our scraper software, Scraper UI, and we're going to go ahead and launch it up. Okay. Alright, so this is how you do it. I'm going to start over because I was practicing myself the other day just to make sure, you know what I mean? So I want to show you guys how to do the right way. Okay, so what you want to do is, let me go ahead and get Atomiswave here. Okay, so this is what you got to do. So whatever you do, okay, whatever you do, do not, how you say, do not, do this. Okay, so what you do is, okay, you have to do it the right way. So what you need to do is you need to go to MAME, okay, right here, okay. Do not go and then click here and then try to find Naomi and thinking it's gonna read all the ROMs and thinking you're gonna read the ROMs and then and you're gonna think you're gonna get all the. It's not gonna work. Trust me. I tried this so many times and I made a mistake. That's the reason why we're gonna do a different method. Okay. So instead of using Naomi, let me go ahead and remove that. Say yes. We're gonna be using MAME. Exactly MAME. And this is how we do it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go back to our folder here, go back to the emulator, Sega Naomi, and then we're going to click on the ROMs and copy the path. Okay? Just like that. And then we're going to highlight this and we're going to paste it. Boom. Now it says user OldGamer downloads arcade flow emulators, Sega Naomi ROMs. That's what we want. That's what we want. Okay? Now we're going to go to media. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and add the path right here. Let's go ahead and paste that in here. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the word ROMs and we're going to type in snap. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the picture. Let's paste it. Remove the word ROMs and type in snap. Same thing for the logo. Remove this path right here. Paste it. And then type in wheel. Remove the word ROMs and type in wheel. Okay, there we go. Now the next thing we need to do is we're going to go to the game in front end, scroll all the way down to where it says MAME, and then once we hit this, it's going to start collecting not only the logos, it's going to collect the logos, it's going to collect the images, and it's going to collect the videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit that. Now this might take a while, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Okay. Okay, now that it's done extracting, let's go ahead and click on this. And then we're going to do the same thing for Atomiswave. So only thing we need to do is go back and head to Atomiswave, ROMs, copy, okay, and then do the same thing what we did with Sega Dreamcast. Sega Naomi, I'm sorry. There you go. Let me do that again. I didn't copy the path. Let me go ahead and copy it. There we go. Same thing we did with Sega Naomi, we're doing it for Atomiswave. Okay? Let's go back to the media. Okay. Click on this little button. Alright. And let's go ahead and remove the ROMs. There you go. Just like that. Okay. Let's go back to games and front ends. Highlight MAME, and then we're going to do the last thing because this one we're not going to skip because this one only has like 16 games, so it'll go through pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and hit start. And now it's collecting all the there you go. Now it went ahead and collected all the images, the wheels, and all that for it as well. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing for the Sega Dreamcast now. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the track mode. There it is, ROMs. Those are the games that we chose. Okay. This time it's different this time. So we're going to go ahead and highlight this. Paste that in there. Because right now we're on the Sega Dreamcast logo now. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to go back to the media. Click on this little button right here. And do the same thing we did with Atomiswave and Sega Naomi. We're going to go ahead and paste. Remove the word ROMs and keep it as snaps. There we go. Same thing for the image. And we only have like a few games in there, so there we go. And same thing for the wheels. There we go. Alright. Alright, and let's go ahead and go back to games and front ends. Sega Dreamcast, this is where we highlighted it. And then we'll start recording that again. Let's go ahead and hit it so we can capture and get all that images, the wheels, and the media. We're down to our last game. Alright. Alright, we've now done scraping. Now one last step before we can start because there's a few things we need to finish up, okay? So we already got everything set up. We got the scrapers and all that's taken care of. Alright, the final step, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and go to open up our bezel project. Here we go. Let's press enter. Hit OK. Alright, and we're gonna go to downloads and there's two things we need to do to make this work, okay? It's hard to explain, but it works every time. So we have to do it 3 times the installation, okay? So the first thing we need to do is we're gonna go to reference, okay? And make sure that your path for RetroArch installation directory is in the right directory, okay? And also when it says native MAME installation directory, that also has to be in the right direction, in the right directory. Okay, just be sure of doing that. Okay, so but right now we're going to focus on just on RetroArch. Okay, just be sure to your RetroArch directory is installed in the right path. Okay, let's hit save that. Okay, then we're going to click on process RetroArch, and we're going to hit OK. Make sure you click on downloads, uninstall, update bezels, pack will automatically enable bezels. This is very important. Alright, so let's go ahead and click on that. Okay, the first thing we want to get is 3 things, okay? This is very important, okay? So the first thing we want is we need to find Atomiswave in this list. There it is, and we're going to say yes. Okay, that's taken care of. Alright, going to hit OK. Next, we need to find Dreamcast. There it is, and we're going to hit OK. This, depending how big the files are. There it is. Now since installing all the bezels, it's right now extracting. First it was downloading, and now it's extracting. And the next step is it's going to start installing it. Right now it's just installing. It's taking all the configs and installing it for you. And then look, right away it's moving for Dreamcast. Look, they also support RealCast as well, and Retro Dream as well. Okay, now let's hit it again one more time. Now we need to find MAME. I know it sound as crazy as it sounds. Yes, we need to install MAME. Okay, let's go ahead. Actually, let's get Sega Naomi first. There it goes. And install. This is a little bit smaller compared to the MAME. The MAME takes more resources. So it's right now it's downloading the archives, and now it's installing everything that is supposed to be there. Okay, there we go. Okay, one final step. We're going to go ahead and click OK, and then get MAME. Install MAME. There it goes. Because see, the thing is, the ROMs for Naomi and Atomiswave, the resources came directly from MAME. You know what I mean? Those ROMs, all this information. Um, you might buy, if you guys say I'm wrong, you know, I would love to hear it. But see, everything was resources from MAME. But then these developers, like for example, DMU and also other emulators, they took the sources from DMU because DMU took the sources from MAME, basically, just to get their engine working for those games. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. So let's go ahead and go ahead and hit OK to install that. This is the last one. 90% we might miss a couple bezels here and there, but that's how come we have the internet. We can actually can search on the internet for people who actually submitted bezels for Sega Naomi, Atomiswave, and also Sega Dreamcast. And if there's a particular game you can't find and didn't recognize it, you could always go and search it on the internet just to find that particular bezel. To just make sure that it actually works for RetroArch or MAME. Okay, now it's doing its magic. This is actually going to read. Right now it says extracting every um like every arcade bezel completely installed. Okay, now it says extracting, and now it's just going to start to install and configure everything for you. We're almost halfway done, guys. There we go. Alright, it's completed. Let's go hit OK. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to close it. There you go, exit. There you go. Alright, last thing we need to do now is the final finale is by running a track mode using Alright, we're going to go ahead and click on the arcade, then MAME, and then we're going to hit the tab button. We're going to move up, and we're going to go to emulators, and there they are. Atomiswave, Sega Dreamcast, and Sega Naomi. Let's go ahead and scan these games by going to generate collection ROM list. There it goes. We got that taken care of. Now Sega Dreamcast. There we go. I forgot to do one last game. Okay, and that's Sega Naomi. There goes 133 games. Alright, let's go ahead and close it. There we go. Now it's relaunching. Alright. Alright. Also, okay, so now we can go ahead and go back, and we're going to click on arcade one more time. And there they are. We got Atomiswave, and also we also have Sega Naomi. And when we go to consoles, we got the Sega Dreamcast. There it is. Right now we don't have no music for Sega Dreamcast, but we can always do that. Okay. Now let's test and see if it works. Okay. I guess it didn't collect the bezel for this. Did I forget to get the bezel? Did I forget to install the bezel for Sega Dreamcast? I thought I took care of that. Oh, alright, let's go ahead and do that again. Let's go back. I forgot to. Let me go ahead and let's get the bezels for the Sega Dreamcast real quick. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Okay. I want those bezels, man. Alright, let's find Sega Dreamcast or the word Dreamcast. Dream Daphne. No, I guess I did update it. Okay. Update. I understand. I took care of that. I don't know why the bezels didn't show up. Or maybe it's not reading the probably it's not reading Soul Calibur. But I made sure that I updated it. I installed it. And I did say before that sometimes I don't know, that's just weird. Soul Calibur is pretty well known for Soul Calibur is pretty well known for the community. They also got bezels for it. Alright, let's go ahead and exit. Alright, let's try it again. If not, that's okay. Alright, let's see. Those bezels supposed to work. Okay, let's see. Let's try this one. Let's try Justice. Project Justice. Project Justice did not show up for some reason. Okay. Maybe the names is different and that's because they're not recognized. That's another thing too. Sometimes when you're trying to install bezels, yeah. I don't know what it is, but I have to take a look at the ROM's name and see if they're matching up with the bezels. Alright, let's go to the arcade mode and let's check out Atomiswave. Alright, let's see. Let's try Metal Slug. Okay, Metal Slug's bezels is showing up just fine. There we go. And as you can see, it's actually working.
Mission 1, start! Heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun.
Alright. Okay, that's actually working. Okay, let's try another game. There he goes.
Welcome to the 6FFS. Select fighter. Battle location, factory.
よろしくお願いしますです。
Round 1. Fight.
Alright, that's working as well. Okay, let's go ahead and check out Sega Naomi. Alright. There are some games won't work, like I said, until you find out which one is the ones that are actually our CHD. Let's see if we got Virtual Fighter working. Let me see. I know that Virtual Fighter was in here somewhere. I know we included it in here somewhere. I guess I didn't read it. I'll have to go back and take a look at it later. But yeah, Virtual Fighter's not around at the moment. Okay. But at least we got some Virtual On games. What's on? We got Virtual Tennis. Alright. Let's see, let's try there's a Project Justice. Let's try it out. See, we also got the arcade version of it, and then we got the one from the Sega Dreamcast. Okay. Oh, forgot to do. There we go. Okay, so that one's working. I need to figure out why Soul Calibur's bezel didn't show up on the screen. And neither did Project Justice on the Sega Dreamcast did not show up on the screen. But yeah, it actually is working. The bezel did show up on these guys, so that's a good thing. So you guys have like a lot of games to choose from. You can play them. Like for example, some of these Guilty Gears games, it requires a CHD. So for example, like if you go back to Atomiswave and you want to play the Guilty Gear on this one will be fine because it doesn't require a CHD because it actually is running directly to the ROM itself. Okay, but if you try to run it on Naomi and you try to run, for example, like this one right here, see it crashes. But if you try to run it on this one, it's fine because that one is not a the other one is a CHD. This one is not. This is actually directly to the game. And funny thing is, this one didn't have no bezel either. Huh. I guess they didn't cover the bezel for this one either. Okay. Well, they got a lot of stuff. I gotta like actually go in and. Oh, here's another thing. Anytime you see a BIOS like that, just press it, press left, and hide it. That's it. I don't understand why it didn't. Like for example, like some Melty Bloods requires a CHD and some of them don't. You know what I mean? For example, if I want to play this one, that one's okay. See, it's taking its time, and yet no bezel for this one. I'll be damned. But they, like I said, some bezels will work and some of them don't, and you have to go on the internet and find out how to get the bezels working for these things. Okay? Alright. But yeah, but it's actually working. What I don't understand, how come... And I know I put... What I don't understand, how come it didn't... Oh, here's another thing too, guys. One last thing. There's some information on the games. It gives you like all the information you need as well, so you can, in case you want to read about it. You know what I mean? What I don't understand is I put Virtual Fighter in here. I know I did, but it didn't recognize the. Let me double check on the Naomi. Maybe I forgot to put the CHD in there. I'll go ahead and check real quick. That's probably it didn't read the CHD. No, I did it right. There's the CHD with the zip. I don't understand why I didn't read the CHD in there. Interesting. Anyways, I have to figure that also out too. But yeah, it's actually working. All right. Like I said, there are some games you have to like require CHDs, and some of them don't. Okay. For example, like if I want to play like on one of those puzzle games, like for example, like this one, right? If I try to click on it, this is also a CHD. So if I click on it, it won't run until you get to the requirement for it. Some games require CHD, some of them don't, and that's the reason why you like that one. Like if I want to play that one, it requires the CHD. You see? Also, I like to stay away from shooting on-screen shooting games. I have no experience yet on how to do it on the controller, so I just go ahead and hide it. Just games that you actually you're capable of using the controller with. You know? All right. There's the end play pilot. Let's see. No, that's also requires CHD, I believe. Yep, CHD. This is one of my favorite games too. I need to figure out why the Naomi. I mean, it's Naomi too, but still, it's just supposed to shows up on the screen. You can put anything on the screen that's supposed to show up. Yeah, I did. Let me go ahead and exit it out. Oh, here's another thing too. To check for updates. There's no updates available right now, but next time on my next video, when we do get an update for our arcade flow, I'm gonna show you guys how to update it. Okay? Well, this is OldGamer saying, God bless, and take it easy, you guys.